Welcome, my bro. First official 1RM podcast. Welcome to the crew. First of all, who are you? So that if no one's ever met Mr. Pope before, who are you? What do you do? Give us a little bit of backstory about yourself so you can tell everyone who you are.
Okay, so my name's Ben Pope. I'm from the UK originally. Moved to Australia 7 years ago.
Whereabouts in the UK? So, because everyone's going to fuck it up. Let's be honest. Everyone's going to fuck it up.
Wales. I'm not a Pommy. I'm Welsh. All right, let's get that.
Get that straight.
Get that straight. Moved here 7 years ago. Been in construction for 10 plus years. Finally decided to take a career change into the fitness industry because it's one of my biggest passions. What I do in the fitness industry is I try to help people overcome areas that they thought they couldn't. So things like strength, building a good physique, lose body weight, things like that.
Give us a little bit of the backstory as to from the last, I guess, how long have you been in Australia now?
Close to 7 years.
Cool. Give us a backstory of 7 years and how you got to this point.
So, I moved here. First thought was year gap.
Yeah.
I had no plans on staying here. Just thought I'll take a break, go and see a bit of the world, enjoy myself, have fun. 2 years living on Coogee Beach. Had an amazing time. Obviously still laying bricks.
Yeah.
When I was coming to the point where I thought, okay, visa's coming to an end, it's time to go home, I met someone special.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm still here today.
Is that really?
Yes.
Were you literally like ready to pack up and go?
I was ready to pack up and go.
Yeah, far.
Yeah. And then obviously I met Nat, who you know. And that's how we met.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, things just took a different turn from there. That's when we started to look into the partner visa and all those kind of things.
Yeah, right.
Moved in together, started a life together.
Nice.
Moving on from there, I continued laying bricks because it was all I knew. It was all I was qualified to do.
Yeah.
And then at some point around COVID time, so 2020, 2021, my back gave out on me.
Yeah.
It was getting sore for quite some time. I just put it down to the job, didn't think too much of it. And then I thought, well, hang on, that's actually getting a bit, I can't take my mind off this pain now. It's not just like I'm sore at the end of the day, it was like sore all the time. So I went to the doctors, went to the hospital, whatever, got my scans done. Turns out I had 5 bulging discs in my lower spine.
Yeah, right.
And they were pressing on my nerves, making life just a lot harder than it needs to be. But then I started looking for a way out. I got back into fitness. Like I said, I've been on and off training myself for 15 plus years.
Yeah.
This happened to me when I decided to take a long break from the gym. I was just partying, putting a lot of focus into bricklaying. And then I realized, well, okay, putting my focus into this area is probably not a good idea because one, not really enjoying the job. Yes, it pays well, but it's really taken a toll on my health here.
Yeah.
So what can I do? Okay, I can get back into training, start strengthening those areas, doing things that need to be done, avoiding surgery at all costs. Right, that was my.
Because there was a period where, so you've been training since you were young.
Yeah, 16 years old.
Since like 16. Then there was like a bit there where I know you stopped training for like a year or so, right? Was there a bit when you were partying and stuff where you stopped training? Remember that one time where you were living in the townhouses, and
yeah,
you were a bit fat there. Like you had a bit of a beer gut, and you weren't really training.
I was a bit chubby, yeah. Yeah, I'd put on some weight, and that was over Christmas time too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is expected. Most people put a little bit of weight on there, but I think I went a bit the extra mile there. Unfortunately, during that time where I stopped training, I picked up some bad habits. So I was drinking quite a lot of piss at the time too.
Yeah.
Just dealing with the stress of the bricklaying, I guess. Just binge eating as well, And when I was binge eating, I wasn't exactly eating the nicest things.
Yeah.
Mainly fast food.
Yeah.
Whatever's easy. And then one day I think it just hit me. I looked in the mirror and thought, I can't keep going like this. I don't want to keep going like this.
Yeah.
I don't want to look like this. And yeah, it's sad to think that, well, hindsight's a great thing, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Looking back thinking, oh, I wish I never stopped because then maybe this would never have happened. And there's no point dwelling on those things. It's about dwell on the here and now. What can I do to fix it?
Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, that's when I started to put things in motion. Decided I wanted to make a career change into the fitness industry. Like I said before, it's my only the biggest passion apart from gaming.
Yeah.
There's another thing of mine I love. Star
Nice.
Wars, things like that. But something I can physically do and actually make a career out of. Didn't think I could do it with gaming. Like you can see streamers these days, they do pretty well, but I don't know what it takes to get there.
Yeah.
And I probably wasn't willing to look into that either, like being stuck at a desk for 12 hours a day playing games. Like I like games, but not that much.
Yeah.
So I settled with fitness. Fitness was the one I wanted to do. And what boosted me more to do that was my own personal injury.
Yeah.
Because I held myself there, with obviously guidance from other people and a good community, and you know, then I thought, wow, geez, this is great. I want to do this for other people.
Yeah.
So I think that pretty much sums that up.
And then now we're coaching.
And now I'm here.
And we're rocking and rolling.
Which I am greatly thankful to be here.
Yes, it's been a long journey to get here. But we're here now, and you're in your full steam. So, pretty much revised. You've been in the country for 7 years. You're bricklaying. Hurt your back. Went through a bit of an injury, and going through all of that treatment, working with good. Obviously, you had a physio before, and now working with a good physio, George. He's awesome.
Yeah, amazing.
And obviously, we've done some work together to get you moving and improve where you're at and that sort of thing. That's where the kind of passion came from, to help other people.
Yeah, being involved in the community, like seeing what it can do, and seeing I guess another part of that as well I didn't input before was growing up in such a small community. People are very judgmental.
Yeah.
They live inside the small bubble, I guess. Whereas like in Australia, it's bigger. There's like. For me, going down the road to a mate's house took 5 minutes, whereas here, people are willing to travel 45 to an hour to go and see a mate. And me, doing that, I was leaving the country.
That'd be out of the country.
I was leaving the country, bro. So yeah, like growing up in a small bubble of a community like that, I can't really answer the question as to why, but I was bullied a lot.
Yeah.
One thing I probably could point out is that I was quite lean as a kid, because I had a passion for gymnastics.
Yeah.
That was like when I first in school started doing your PE. They take you through sports and you end up finding one that you like, sort of thing. Mainly, mine was soccer, rugby, but I really like gymnastics. I love doing all the somersaults and all that kind of stuff.
I didn't know this, bro. Why does it take a podcast? Why does it take a podcast for me to find this out?
Well, I don't know. Guess you never asked.
Maybe we just need to do more podcasts.
Yeah. Need more podcasts. That's it. So due to that, I started to get pretty lean.
Yeah.
Yes, I was skin and bones, but I was pretty much the only boy in my year with a six-pack.
Yeah.
And girls
like that.
I got a bit of attention from them. Very young, still wasn't really into girls then, so I was a bit like, didn't really know how to take any of that stuff, but I guess the other boys sort of got jealous of that. And their way of dealing with that was by bullying me.
Yeah.
Belittling me, making me feel shit. And it worked. So for many years, around my training, I was kind of shied away from posting it.
Yeah.
It was just like, I just trained in the shadows.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, whereas now being involved in the community where you're sort of pushed to do that, so then it shows other people
it can be done
to open up more.
Yeah.
And not to just you'll still get it. You'll still get people go, fucking, or they'll look at your physique and go, steroids, brush it off as an excuse, it's easy. That's why he looks like that. They don't even take into consideration that the hard yards you have to go through to get something like that, and it's it's built, not born with, like you say, or it's earned.
Yeah.
You can't just be given it.
And that's, I tell all my clients to take a selfie. Mm-hmm. If you're vibing so much that you take a selfie and you send it to me, throw it up on the gram, put it up for yourself. Obviously there's times where you don't want to, but I always try and get clients to push up a little bit more, or at least post in the group chat, because there's other people that are going through the same thing that you're going through now, or that are in the position that you were in 6, 12, 18 months ago, and they're looking at you going, holy shit, look at Ben, or look at one of the most recent ones, my client Tanya, has lost 20 kilos, stepped on stage, competed.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, so then people who are in Tanya's position literally had a call with someone who was the exact same. They're pretty much the same starting point as where Tanya is now. I'm like, we can get there. You know what I mean?
It's doable.
And look at Tanya, look at Ben, look at Zach. So yeah, definitely posting is obviously a little bit hard, and I understand it's not everyone's forte, but if you can get in the comfort zone of, I guess, posting, try and think of it from a point of view that you're helping someone.
Yes.
What you're putting out isn't being, as long as you're not being obnoxious and you're not being a bit of a dick about it. If you're just posting hey, this is me, this is where I was, this is where I am now, it's only going to be positive.
Yes.
It's only going to be positive. So
yeah.
And if you're big enough, like you are, you get dealt the you must be doing steroids card. So
yes,
that's a positive as well.
Because I look at myself like most people probably do and go, not happy, you know, or I feel a bit small. Or,
yeah.
But then from a third person's point of view, it's like the number one we've been talking about recently is stop comparing yourself to others.
Yeah.
You know, it's you versus you. It's your journey.
Yeah.
Don't worry about anyone else. But that's very like it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
A lot of people can go, yeah, I get you, but then the next day they'll look at someone else and go, oh, I wish that was me. And then straight away they're back in the cycle. So yeah, it's hard, but the important thing is it can be done. And like I know that from personal experience. Like I'm not there yet. I know I'm not there yet, but I've come a long way.
Yeah.
Because I know like past me would never have put up the videos I've been putting up.
Yeah.
Would never have put up the other day I put up the video of me in my underwear doing posing. You know, physique update. Like I'm not overly happy with my physique right now, but I'm happy where it is compared to where it was.
Yeah, when you do the before and afters, you've grown,
100%.
man. Yeah, 100%.
100%. Yeah.
And now, most importantly, you're out of pain. For the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
95% of the pain is pretty much gone. It's now just like feeling that you're there, but then it's not actually pain. It's like that differentiation between the two, right?
Yeah, it's like the brain like just going, oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that in case we do hurt ourselves.
Yeah.
Like it's a safety mechanism almost.
Yeah.
You know, the brain's just like it's sending the signal there, even though it's not needed.
Yeah.
It's going, whoa, hang on a minute, mate. Like
But now you're now your RDLs, deadlifting.
Yeah, man, yeah.
45-degree extensions, bent over rows, whereas 2 years ago you could barely even
put a sock on.
Yeah, barely even put a sock on, barely even wipe your own ass. Like,
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it can be done. So, but yeah, man, I definitely think that it's good. Like, it's cool to have seen your journey come up and seeing how you've kind of, obviously, come up as an athlete, but then also starting to post a little bit more from the coach side of you, post your own journey and that sort of thing. And then heaps of comments through the one-on-one community saying, I saw Ben.
Yes.
Saw his physique, saw that, or, I saw Ben starting coaching. So it's cool, man. It's only going to be positive. And as long as you're not, there's definitely a way that you can be obnoxious about posting online.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, most people are going to be if you're humble about it, then you'll be fine.
Yeah. A good note on that actually is because of you giving me that push saying, just do it, man, just fucking do it. Like, post this, post that. And I've just took the leap, trusted you and gone, okay, I'll just do it. Like I said before, the reason why I didn't do it was because of the bullying and all that kind of stuff. So when I did do it and got that kind of feedback, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like maybe people don't want to see me fail so much.
Yeah.
Like that's how I obviously felt growing up. Everyone just wanted to see me fail, belittling me, blah, 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 bullying. Long story. But here, with the community that I've come into at 1RM, it's nothing but positive vibes.
Yeah.
Everyone's on the same journey. Everyone's trying to better themselves. And they want to surround themselves with people doing the same thing because we're all here to push each other up.
That's it, 100%.
Yeah.
So there's that mixed in with some caffeine memes and gym memes and fucking all the rest of it. But that's what we're here for. So, But no, that's cool. We do have some questions. So, because I did put a poll up and we got a bunch of questions.
Oh,
so
cool, interesting.
Crack in. As you can tell, Ben's from the UK. It just for reference, it's literally like, it was 0 degrees this morning and it's freezing outside. But obviously Ben is Welsh and I'm not Welsh. So hence why Ben's in shorts and a t-shirt and I'm in trackies and a jumper, just FYI.
Dragon's blood.
Yeah. First one, how do you overcome the fear of feeling intimidated with others at the gym? So someone's training, they might have gone from one gym to another, like, we both train at World Gym Penrith. They might have come from an Anytime or something where it's a little bit more lax. They come into World Gym Penrith at 4 or 5 p.m. on a Tuesday. How do they deal with feeling intimidated or, feeling comfortable to train there?
First thing that comes to mind, if you have a friend that also trains, bring them along. Having somebody with you makes you feel a lot more comfortable. You're not alone then in the situation. Good thing about the gym that we go to has a comfort zone, for example.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to be near all the big bloody P-heads throwing their massive plates around, you can just scoot on up to the comfort zone where no one knows where you are, hide in the corner, and there's plenty of stuff there to use as well.
Yeah.
So go into those areas, go and find your own little comfortable area to do what you need to do for yourself and focus on you.
I would say the same. The other thing I would say is that all those big meatheads throwing the weights around are probably the nicest people in the gym.
That's not, I wouldn't even say probably. I'd say they are.
Yeah, they are. Like, and that's just from our personal experience. But yeah, all those big meatheads throwing the weights around are probably the people who are more than happy to help you.
Of course.
Yeah, unless you get one or two wankers. But for the most part, if you need to ask a question or whatever, then they'd be more than happy to help. And also, then no one's looking at you or judging you in that regard.
Of course not. Don't be fooled by the muscles.
Yeah.
Like, just because you see this big, juicy, bloody, roided up guy or whatever it might be, doesn't necessarily mean he's a nasty person and goes around bullying people. Yeah. You know, he's probably been doing what he's been doing.
He's probably been bullied himself, hence why he started training. And now look at where we are. So yeah,
that's me.
Yeah.
I've had people come up to me and say things like that, you know, and like, but then once they talk to me, they're like, oh, he's actually a really nice guy.
I had to tell you, I had to be like, listen, bro, like, you've got to be like overly nice, like when you meet someone, just because they automatically have. I'm a bit of a dickhead. I give a bit of a like silly person vibe. But if we're both tired or we're both in a like a, you know, not a downer mood, but we're not really thinking about it, we can come across, because we're slightly larger individual, you can come across in a certain way. So then
you can.
When you
got to take that into account.
Yeah. So then when you meet people, you've got to be like overly nice and be like, nah, it's cool, and then they're like, oh yeah, it's just Rhys and Ben, yeah. But don't be fooled by any big guys, and don't feel intimidated. It's your fucking gym, so you won't. So yeah, no one's judging.
I had a free consult with a woman.
Yeah.
And she came in with a handbag on, right? And she's hugging the handbag and she's looking around like this. And she can tell she's very like, oh, this place looks pretty scary, right?
Yeah.
You know? And introduced myself, you know, being overly nice, making sure she felt okay. So that took her up to a nice quiet space out of the way from all the bloody weights banging. We had a chat. She told me that she was scared to come into gym because of that reason. Like coming in, seeing, and she even pointed at me and said, like, people like you, big muscular people, like it's quite intimidating. And I basically just told her exactly what we just talked about. Yeah. Like 9 times out of 10, they're people who have been in your position, and that's probably the reason why they've gone and done what they've done. Yeah. To make themselves more confident inside and out.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. There's not many people that would go from being in a confident body image to then starting training. You might get a few people when they come from sports and stuff, but the most part of people that are training at the gym, especially ones that like look good and relatively love it, have some form of, I guess, confidence issue or whatever issue, and that's why they started training in the first place, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what the gyms are for.
Next one. What signs should I look for to know if I'm overtraining or undertraining? Let's go overtraining.
Okay. Sheer exhaustion.
Yeah.
If you're just exhausted all the time, you should peel back.
Yeah.
100%.
Cool.
If you're seeing your progress or decline in the sense of like the weights you're pushing and things like that, you probably need to either peel back or you're just not fueling your workouts properly. Clear indicators.
Yeah, I would agree. The same in terms of overtraining. Like if you are looking worse in the mirror, like you're looking flabby, you're looking tired, you feel flat in the muscle, then it's probably a good indicator that you're overtraining. The other thing with that is like, I would say not many. I'm not going to say not many people. I would put it, rather than overtraining, I'd say under recovering.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's a better word to use. I like
overtraining means like you are going 2 hours in the gym, slanging and banging, and then, you know, but then really it comes down to under recovering, right? So yeah, like you probably want to look at your recovery then. Are you eating enough? Are you training? Are you sleeping well? Are you doing all those things? And then if you're doing all of those things and you know you're not in a deficit, and then you still look like shit, then you're probably overtraining, probably need to pull it back. But I would get people to look at their recovery first and then be like, tick all those boxes, because you might find that you might be missing out on sleep or might be under fueling or whatever, and then that's why you feel like you're overtraining, but really just under recovering.
Yeah, 100%. You would definitely, like you said, first thing you do is look at your recovery first. If everything is good there, then you would move on to the training aspect. But if your recovery, and you already pinpoint something in the recovery, for example, you go, oh, well, I'm only sleeping 6 hours, 5.5 hours, and that's broken sleep most days. When you go, well, there you go, there's your answer. Yeah,
that's it. And I think that's the biggest thing is, we talked about in another podcast, but sleep is everything. As someone with a newborn, sleep is everything.
It is.
What about undertraining? How do you know if someone's undertraining? Or how would they know if they're undertraining?
Well, simple. You're not progressing in the gym. Your weights aren't going up. You're not getting stronger. You look the same in the mirror.
Yep.
Your measurements are the same. Nothing's changing.
I would say the easiest way to tell if you're undertraining, if you're training by yourself, is film yourself. And if your last rep looks like your first rep in terms of speed, you can bump it up. You're undertraining.
Oh, yes, 100%. Yeah. Filming your workouts is key because I noticed that myself where I thought my form was good.
Yeah.
And I look at the video and go, oh, it wasn't.
Yeah.
So then I peeled back the weight by 15, 20% or something.
Yeah.
Did it again. Might have added another 2 reps in there, but my form was better.
Your form was better, but then when you're getting to the last couple of reps, you want them to slow down.
They were slowing down heaps, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. So if your reps are staying the same speed throughout the whole set, then you're not training anywhere near hard enough. And it might take, like, if you're someone who hasn't really tracked that before, or if you just started with a coach and you're just on a new program, it might take 4 to 5 weeks before you find that upper echelon point before you start to be like, right, I'm pushing for this next rep. Like I've got, I did 8 last week. I'm going for 9 this week.
Exactly.
But until you get to that point, like if you're just easily going up and up and up and up in weight, then you know that you can push harder and you haven't actually reached your strength threshold. So that would be the biggest thing I would say for undertraining, is just knowing that.
Yeah, it would be trial and error first, obviously, someone who's new.
Yeah. And it depends on the skill level and all that sort of stuff, but that's probably the easiest way. It's got the M word in here. Ben, you ready for this? Ben fucking hates the M word. What strategies do you suggest for motivation when progress feels slow?
Sorry, just say it again.
Okay, so progress is feeling slow. How do you stay motivated?
Okay, cool. That's a hard one for me to answer because, like you say, I don't like the word. Me, I would just literally turn around and say, just don't be a bitch. Trust the process. Keep doing what you're doing. It'll pay off.
Yeah. Well, remember your why, right?
Remember your why. That's important. Yeah, it comes back to discipline. Just like when everyone has those bad days where they think nothing's happening, The thing is, with bodybuilding, especially as a natural, the progress is so slow, bro.
And that, when we say bodybuilding, we mean that it doesn't have to be on the stage or off stage. It's bodybuilding in terms of building a physique, in terms of want more muscle, want to look leaner, want to look whatever. The progress is going to be 10 times slower than what you think.
It is, 100%. And I know that because when I was very young, I did do a cycle of steroids.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, longer than that now. But besides the point, in that time, I saw progress overnight, almost.
Yeah.
Not literally, but
within 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to be like, holy shit. Yeah.
Not just physical progress, but like you feel like a king. Every second that you're awake, you feel untouchable. You feel invincible.
Yeah.
Until obviously you come off, if not done properly. Do not abuse if you're thinking about doing that. That is so important.
Yeah. Well, don't do that in the first place. Come to us and we'll sort your shit.
It's not worth it.
We'll sort your shit out first, and then once you get all that shit sorted, and then you want to go into that realm, then go for it. But yeah, I would say that I would agree 100%. If your progress is feeling slow, I literally did a reel about it last night. If progress is feeling slow, then it probably means that you're probably right in the thick of it.
Yes.
And you just need to look back and see how far you've come, and then re-evaluate and re-understand why you're going in the direction that you're going.
And most people at the end of the day don't notice their progress because they're constantly raising their bar.
Yeah. Well, I took photos. I put it in our group chat, and I was just like, "Oi, boys, look at this from 6 May." And I'm like, "Oh, holy shit! I got lats. I got a chest." And Jesse did the same. It was like, and then your ones as well that we did the other day. Like, it's like, even we don't notice. You feel like, why are we doing this shit? Why are we stacking 200 kilos on the hack squat for and pumping ourselves? And then you look, you got quads now, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
well, that is a very important thing to mention. There is like we see ourselves every day.
Yeah.
That's why you're not going to notice those little changes. You see yourself in the mirror every day, whether it be a passing window of a shop, a car, the mirror in your bathroom. You're seeing yourself, your reflection somewhere every day. So unless you take a photo from this timestamp, give it 6 to 12 weeks, take a photo of that timestamp, compare them, then you go, oh my goodness, there it is, right there, right in front of me.
Even yeah, and I think progress photos are absolutely key. So obviously I actually coach a fair amount of females now, so body weight does fluctuate, and it's not the only data that we can use to evaluate success. But I've got females who have only dropped 2 kilos on the scale weight, and still fluctuating up and down, but waist measurements have dropped like 10 to 15 centimeters, like hips have dropped. Physically seeing the photo progress, it's like, look at this and look at that. Like it's night and day. So, but yeah, I would just say, remember your why. Make sure that you've got strategies to be able to assess and see whether you are making progress.
Of course.
And just however long you think it's going to take, double it.
Yeah, and also don't feel like you're in the journey alone either. There's communities out there, including us, that are here to help you get past those days.
Yeah.
Reach out.
100%.
If you feel like nothing's happening,
because there's probably probably 1,000 other people that probably feel the same.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. Right. This is an interesting one, and this is going to ruffle feathers. But I'm going to say exactly what I think because I don't give a fuck. It's my podcast. Should I be adjusting my training during my menstrual cycle or stressful weeks?
No. I wouldn't think so, would you?
No, I actually completely agree. I wouldn't.
No.
And that's not us. Obviously, we've got two blokes here.
Yeah, we wouldn't know what it's like last
We obviously don't experience menstrual cycles, but the reason I would say no is simply just because if you adjust there's a few reasons. Reason number one, if you adjust your training every menstrual cycle, you're then missing out on essentially a quarter of the year of training. If you deloaded every menstrual cycle, that's every 4 weeks. So you're missing out on 25% of the gains that you're going to make in that year, which is ridiculous, right?
Yes.
Secondly, phrase I use is just because you feel like shit doesn't mean you are shit, right?
Yes.
So just because you feel like terrible or you feel weak or whatever it is, doesn't mean you're not going to perform in the gym, and doesn't mean that you're not going to have a good session, and doesn't mean that I've had female clients actually hit PBs when they're smack bang in the thick of it, telling me that they feel like that their uterus is about to fall out. And I'm like, cool, you'll be fine, let's go. And as long as your nutrition and everything is the same and it stays relatively good, then you should be fine. In terms of stressful weeks, there's obviously times where you have to evaluate and be like, right, am I moving mountains here or am I just happy to be here? And I get in some instances it's probably just happy to, if you match the same weights as the week before, then that's still a win in those instances.
Yes, it definitely is.
So, but in terms of deloading every time you feel stressed or every menstrual cycle, I think if you do that and you're missing out on gains, and there's probably a time and place for it, but it's probably not needed.
No. Again, we wouldn't know what that feels like, but we do know that what Rhys says, if you do adjust that every 4 weeks, you're missing out on a lot of potential gains.
Yep, 100%. And the same thing with the deficit as well. If you're time sensitive and you have a deficit and you got to be in a cut and you're trying to lose weight, then of course blood sugar drops and you're going to feel terrible. But unfortunately, there's not much you can do. You've just got to do your best to manage it, get through it, and work through it. And if there are times where you are literally keeled over in pain or you're having cramps and that sort of thing, it is what it is, of course. Even if you miss a day of training, but having to deload a whole week, potentially 6 or more than a week of training, I would say you probably don't need to do that.
No, cool. Definitely not.
Last one is a question. So someone's asked, I typed my macros, or I typed my details, into a macro calculator, and I followed the calories, but I'm tired, I'm exhausted, nothing's happening. What's going on there? So someone's gone online, they've Googled their own macro calculator, and they've typed in all their details. It's given them, spat out some calories, and they're following them now, but they're feeling tired, they're feeling exhausted, it's not working, or it just doesn't feel right. What can you explain what's going on there?
Would that have spat out a maintenance?
Yep.
Well, there you go. That's why nothing's changing, because it's maintenance.
Yep.
He's just going to stay where he is.
Yep. Cool.
Unless he specifies what he wants, whether it's he wants to grow muscle or lose fat. That's the only way it's going to change.
Yeah. The other thing as well is those calculators don't take into account how much, or some of them don't take into account how active you are.
Yeah, that's another one.
So, for example, how many calories did you have to be on when you were bricklaying and you were in a surplus?
5,500.
Yep. And if I put your I remember if I put your calories into our macro calculator and did it for even high expenditure and maintenance, it only put you up at about 4,000 calories. But we didn't see weight go up until about 5.5, which is ridiculous. So those calculators don't always take into account your energy expenditure throughout the day, because that's where the most of your calories come from, is through energy expenditure. Also don't take into account, again, like how active you are, how much muscle mass you have, all those sorts of things. So when you, obviously when we sit down with people, we put it into our calculator. I will always say that this is throwing a dart on a dartboard. We're gonna get as close to the bullseye as possible.
Yes.
But we're gonna refine it so I know exactly where maintenance is, and then if we need, depending on whether weight wants to go up or down, then we can pull calories up or down. But again, it's literally just throwing a dart at a dartboard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good analogy.
Yeah, and everyone's different. I've had people who can put on body weight at 3,000 calories and same size or whatever, and then other people like yourself who are just anomalies who need 5,500. And
it does literally come down to the individual.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of it will be trial and error too.
Yeah, it's going to be trial and error.
Try a few things, and like you say, tracking. That's why tracking is so important.
Yeah.
You set yourself a calorie goal. You track your weight for a certain amount of time, and you're trying to grow. If you're not growing, bump the calories up.
100%.
Simple as that.
Same with like losing weight as well. Is obviously if you're staying the same weight and you are tracking relatively consistently, and nothing's happening, something's got to come down. Yep. So. And I've found that on the other end of the scale, especially with like smaller people, smaller females in particular, who aren't overly active throughout the day. They might be teachers, or they might just be, working at a desk for most of the day. If you've got to get down to 1,200 calories to see body weight come down, and that's where you got to go. Like, there's no, it's only maths, and there's no like, oh, that's too much and that's too little. It's literally just like, if we've got to go there, you got to go there.
Exactly. It literally is just the mathematical equation.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's when you need to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, okay, how much do I want this?
Yeah.
Because if I really want it, then unfortunately, I'm going to have to do that.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. If you want to look that way, for whatever reason, then you have to go there.
Yeah. And if you're struggling heaps, then obviously just come talk to us and we'll sort you out. We'll get you sorted.
We'll lift you up.
Yeah. Well, that is a very good introduction to yourself and who you are as a coach. So if anyone sees Mr. Ben walking around Welsham Penrith, by all means reach out. Where can they find you on Instagram? What's your Instagram?
Instagram is @coachpope_1RM.
Cool. I love Coach Pope.
Yes.
It's a mad name.
And I'm always in the gym, so you can't not see me. I'm probably the only bloke in there with long hair.
Must be nice. Must be fucking nice, eh?
I'm always smiling.
Yeah.
And I say hi to everybody, so you can't miss me.
Or head to his Instagram and you can find it there.
Yes.
But thank you very much, guys, for listening to the 1RM podcast. Thanks for another episode. I guess this was a good one to show a little bit of your backstory.
Yes.
Show people that if they've gone through injuries, if they've gone through, some adversity when they're growing up, and that it can be done. You can transform not only minds, fix your body, and actually get yourself in the right position, which is exactly what you've done.
Yes.
Happy days.
Cool.
Thanks for coming, bro.
Thank you.